Alright, gotta wait for this thing to... This has been a bane of my existence, this stupid Hitachi thing. Let's move on to something else that hopefully won't be so bad, shall we? Okay, so here's my current electrolysis tank. I call this E-Tank version 2.0. If you saw my earliest one, it was just made with some lawnmower blades and an old laundry hamper. This one, I've got a 55-gallon drum that was used for soy sauce that I cleaned up, and I've got 4 pieces of rebar in it connected to a bench power supply there. And if you look down, you can see it just fizzing along. I've got a cornbread pan in there that I just threw in, and it's working pretty nicely. So the people that say you can't use rebar, you can use rebar and it works quite well, as you can see. I'm working on my version 3.0 of this, and I've got some ideas. I've been watching what other people have been doing. There's still a debate on whether we want to use mild steel or stainless steel, and I have no doubt that stainless steel, from an ergonomic standpoint, works better, but there's some concern about using stainless steel and that it might cause this liquid to be rather toxic. And I don't want to take any chances with this. This is a lot of contention. The problem is, the people that say stainless steel is perfectly safe don't cite any evidence, and they just tend to call people names if they disagree with them. So that immediately sets my BS detector off, because the people that do claim using stainless steel as anodes in this, they cite a lot of scientific evidence, and they talk about what happens chemically and scientifically, where the stainless steel puts chromate something in here, which is a toxic substance. So anyway, it works great with regular mild steel. So I'm going to continue to use that, and I'm not going to risk creating anything that requires any kind of special toxic disposal procedures. So this is basically just sodium carbonate mixed with water in here, and then we're applying electricity. We're applying the positive to the anodes, these 4 things that are in the solution, and the negative, what I'm using is a stainless steel cable that goes down into the solution, which has the piece of cast iron on it. Now, stainless steel is okay to be used on the cathode because it's not taking anything off of it, but it will be taking stuff off of the mild steel and into the solution. These are pieces of flat mild steel that I got from a site online called Metals Depot. I tried to get them locally, but the cost locally was like twice as much as I could order online and have it shipped to me. So I'm sorry, I don't have a ton of money, and this whole thing is just a loss for me. So I'm going to spend the least amount to get the same product. Even though I do want to, spend my money locally, you got to be more competitive, This came in 6-foot links, and it was about $18, $19 per piece. And then I've cut them in half using a chop saw. And then I've drilled a hole here that's a little bit larger than a 1/4 inch. And this is where I was going to attach the leads to it. So I tried one in the thing. Let me show you. Just one day, I put one of these in here and I attached it into this. Look at what one day did to the surface of that sheet. I mean, it's already started to cut into it. And I could tell, you could see here the difference in the solution and out of the solution. So when these things go in, they're going to get eaten up quite a bit by this electrolysis process, and they'll need to be kept clean. If they're smooth like this, they'll be easy to just scrub. I've seen people that will take these and they will literally build a cage made out of the material, soldering, welding everything together. And I've got a TIG welder, and I'm going to be playing around with that. But the more I think about it, the more I think I may not want to weld these together. My thinking is, in order to be able to weld an array of these together, I'm going to have to build a jig just to position these 6 pieces of metal in an array that I can weld onto. So I will spend probably more time building a jig than it would take to weld the stuff together. The downside to that is it's going to be very difficult to deal with if I want to clean them. I have to pull the whole cage out. But if I don't weld these all together, if I keep them separately, my thought is I'll drill another hole about 4 inches down, right to about here, just above the lip of the barrel. And I will run a 1/4 inch by 2 inch bolt from that, and I will bolt these to the barrel. So when it comes time to cleaning these, I undo 2 bolts, and then I just pull it out. So I can pull them out individually and clean them. And I think that'll be so much easier. Pulling it out, I can take a wire brush to them, drop it right back in, 2 bolts, bing, it's fixed. All right, so here's a look at my E-Tank 2.0. And I've just emptied it, and I'm going to be upgrading it. Let's take a look at these anodes and see what's happened to them, shall we? So this was running for several months, 24/7. And there's definitely some eating away at the rebar, you can see. But just for 4 rebars, my tank worked really well. It sometimes would take a day to clean a pan, maybe 2 days if it was particularly bad. I understand if you do it better, you can achieve that kind of results in half a day or a couple of hours, depending upon what it is. And I'm going to be putting a tap on it. Got this handy little kit from Amazon. It's a rain barrel spigot kit. So I got this. It even comes with the drill bit. So I'm going to drill a hole in here and install this. That's going to be the first step. Now, let's install the kit. Okay, actually, it wasn't that difficult. I just kind of stuck it through one side and then crawled in and screwed that on hand tight. And then I'll get a little set of channel locks and tighten it up a little bit. And we'll have that thing set up, and then I'll test it to see if it's leak proof. All right, got the thing on now. So there it is with the spigot installed. And you can see the inside, it's like that. A little bit of gunk down there. I'm not really going to worry about that. This thing's going to be perpetually filthy anyway. All right, so here I am filling up my tank. Everything looking good down there, no leaks. And I just realized, you know, as I'm filling it up 5-gallon bucket at a time, pouring it in there to mark off the things, right? I look and there they are, 35 gallon, 30, 25, 20, 15. It's actually marked. Now, my tank is at an angle, so it doesn't line up with things properly because it's sitting on my back porch. My back porch is at an angle. But you can save yourself the trouble and just see whether or not you see the gallon markings on the thing, because they're there. It looks like, in this case, these 2 reinforcing bands, the center of them is at 20 and 40 gallons right here. And then 50 gallons is just about 6-7 inches from the top. All right, here is our tank coming along, the new version 3.0. You can see I've got the anodes mounted in here. Actually, I do kind of like the fact that these bolts are a little bit long, and I can move the anode in or out. I can put longer bolts on. I can have a little bit of flexibility in moving them around based on what the pans are. I think this is going to work out really nicely. They're all set up. Obviously, I could put even more if I wanted to, or I could use wider sheets of metal, which I could. I think this cost me, this is 3 pieces of 6-foot steel, which was about 18 to 20 bucks, so about 60 bucks for the metal. And then I'm going to do the copper lines between these, which is going to be out of the water. Same thing with the stainless steel nuts. Those are out of the water. Galvanized are out of the water as well. But they're not going to have any stainless steel inside of the tank, with the exception of a stainless steel cable on the cathode. I'm pretty convinced now that I don't want any stainless steel in the E-Tank. And I may do a video about that in the future as to why. It's a controversial issue, but I think there's some kind of common sense approaches to this I'll be sharing in the future. All right, here it is. This is E-Tank 3.0. Let's go over all of the features of this. So what I did was I was using previously rebar, and before that I was using lawnmower blades. I'm upgrading now. I ordered these 1/8 inch, 3-inch long sheets of steel. Came in 6-foot lengths, cut them in half, and I've got them bolted through the side right here, and I can adjust them if I want. And then I got another hole here, and I've got them all tied together. So the positive from this power supply is going to go to this, and then negative goes to the item I'm going to be cleaning. And I'm using a stainless steel cable on the cathode. I think it's better than just having a hook. I think I get a little bit better connection to the thing. And I drill a hole in this board, and it comes through, and I use these pegs to kind of adjust the level in the water if I want to. And you can see down there I've got a tap now that I've installed so I can drain it. And the cost of this thing is relatively inexpensive. Probably the cable and the steel is the most expensive stuff. Yeah, the power supply is not even that bad. I got that off of Amazon. So here it is. Looks pretty cool. Shall we check it out and see how it works? Crock pot or Dutch oven. And it's got quite a bit of rust on it, so I'm going to use this to test it. So I'm going to drop this thing down into here. I've got my washing powder in there, and I'm using approximately half a cup per every 5 gallons. Nicely in between everything, I can kind of adjust everything. So there it is. And I'm thinking at some point I got some graphite rods I'm going to use. So I've got one extra lead, and I'm going to try to create some kind of an articulating arm that I might be able to literally stick a graphite rod into a piece to help deal with the inside. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm going to connect that to this right here, make sure we got a good connection. And everything is hooked up. Shall we power it up and see what we got? Let's do that. Bam. 12 volts, 4.8 amps. And let's take a look and see what happens. See the little bubbles starting right around where the connector is. I can't see it because there's some reflections. Let me see if I can do it with a see bubbles coming up. Do not drop your phone in the solution. That would not be good. So you can already see the bubbles starting. That's pretty cool. Okay, nice dreary day outside. Let's turn this thing off. I left this pot in here much longer than I probably should have, so let's see how well it worked. Ooh, it's warm. Relatively clean. Still a little few spits of rust, but probably just because it's not easy to get to it. That's from the surface. So this is our Taiwan Dutch oven out of the E-tank, the new E-tank. And let's take a look at it. Here. I just scrubbed it up quite a bit in the sink. There's a reasonable amount of elbow grease that goes into these things. So it's not like I just get them and then throw them in a tank and pull them out and they're perfect. There's some work involved. Oh no! Look at that! Look at that huge crack. Do you see that? Wow. Right there. All the way down. Let's see how it rings. Ugh. Alright. Not only was this thing not worth a whole lot before I started cleaning it up, but once I cleaned it up, there's a monster crack in the thing. Look at that. I'll tell you what though, I'm not going to throw this away, because I got a TIG welding, a tungsten inert gas welding setup, and I'm learning how to TIG weld. This would be a fun project to try to practice to see if I can fix that. Just to practice on, right? Cast iron is supposedly pretty challenging to weld. All right, so aside from that, let's just take a look at what these typical Asian pots look like. So this says 4.5 quart Dutch oven Taiwan. It's relatively rough. You can see it's already starting to flash rust in front of our eyes. It's not super smooth, but it's not super bad. Seems to me maybe this was kind of tumbled with like steel bearings or something, because it does seem like it's got a rough surface that's been smoothed over. That could have been though also from it being used. I lost my train of thought. It's amazing how You spend 2 days working on something and it's all for nothing. All right, let's move on to something else that hopefully won't be so bad, shall we? I want to thank everybody for tuning in and enjoying the video series and supporting me thus far by subscribing and clicking like and all of that. And if you want to catch me on TikTok, sometimes I have previews of what I'm working on that I haven't published lately. That's at TikTok/@WisdomStudio. And if you're on Facebook, look up the group Vintage Cast Iron Hunting, Restoration, Identification, and Sales. And until next time.